Hello and welcome back to episode 7 of the TEW IX Save here on the channel. We got NXT Level Up and NXT Today, the January 14th, 2025 edition. And we're starting out in Level Up with Dante Chen and Wolfgang. And we have Wolfgang walking backstage, Wolfgang of Gallus notoriety. And he notices at the end of the hallway Dante Chen is staring at him. So he walks up to Dante, he asks him, "Hey, what's your problem?" Dante doesn't respond, and Wolfgang asks him again, but still no response. So he goes to shove Dante, but Dante counters the blow and then throws Wolfgang to the ground and walks away. So that gets a 24. We have the terrible road agent AJ Winkler, who I should probably get rid of. The crowd is disinterested, but it's Level Up. Give me a break. So Dante Chen, we are changing his gimmick from fan favorite to Silent Warrior, which, poor. Alright. So it's a marketable gimmick, sells more merch, but loses a lot of charisma, penalized for losing to cartoonish, gimmicky gimmicks, and penalized for being used in lengthy angles, which is good to know. That makes sense. It's an offbeat, unstable gimmick, but very marketable, I guess. The Silent Warrior. Or hopefully that rises over time. Not a great start to the show. We're going to go over to Roxanne Perez, who is also backstage, getting ready for the upcoming actual NXT show. When Stevie Turner walks up asking her for advice, before she can respond, Danny Palmer also walks up, interrupting, asking Roxanne if she would have a match with her in NXT Level Up tonight. Roxanne tells Danny Palmer that she is not going to waste her time on someone like her, and then tells Stevie her advice is to deal with Danny Palmer. So Danny Palmer does not know how to improvise. Roxanne, working the crowd, got a 56, but 36 segment, whatever. Stevie does well off script, which is fine. Roxanne enjoys going off script, but sucks at it, I guess. Then Dante Chen versus Wolfgang gets a 36, which Dante Chen 26, Wolfgang 46, which I'm actually pretty happy with. Wolfgang wins following interference from Mark Coffey. Those were supposed to be the exact same thing, but Mark Coffey runs in and attacks Chen twice, I guess. Mark Coffey is here. His current gimmick is old school heel, and we're going to change it to Iron Duke, which is awful. Oh my goodness. So we've had some luck with gimmick changes, and that luck has run out today, clearly, as Dante Chen and Mark Coffey now have awful gimmicks. Alright, not suitable to be used by a face. Good thing he's not a face. And not comic relief, which is fine. This is going to be a terrible show. It's going to get us a 35, and that's NXT Level Up, so we're going to get into the actual show now. I think maybe next episode I will record this. I have to do this before NXT, but maybe I'll just show it at the end, like with what I'm doing with Main Event, just putting it after Smackdown. Maybe I'll do that in the next NXT episode. Let me know some feedback in the comments. I'll get into the NXT show next. Alright, and here we are with the NXT, the main NXT show, getting right into this with Obafemi opening the show. He cuts a promo talking about how he was cheated out of his title match last week against Trick Williams. He didn't get a fair match when Ethan Page attacked Trick Williams and interfered with the match, and Obafemi wants a rematch as soon as possible. Trick Williams comes out to the stage. He tells Oba, he feels bad. He wanted to have a banger with Obafemi to open the year, but it was interrupted by that scumbag, Ethan Page. Trick tells Oba, we will have a rematch. And as he's about to tell Oba where that rematch will be and when, Ethan Page hits Trick from behind with a cheap shot to the back of the head. Trick Williams is laying on the ground, covering his head. Ethan Page grabs the microphone, says that nobody respects him in NXT anymore, even though he had such an amazing, record-breaking reign, grabbing the NXT title right after he debuted. He says that he's getting his title back, and he'll ruin every single Trick Williams and Obafemi match until he gets his shot at the title first. That section, or that segment, gets a 59, which I'm very, very happy with. Obafemi, we did do it improvise, and they all do great, which I'd love to see. Very, very happy with that. Did we get any penalized? Low heat, but hopefully this definitely, gains heat. Awesome. 59 to start the show. Definitely going to take that. Next, we go backstage to Kelly Kincaid interviewing Stepanie Vaquer. Vaquer says that this week she has some business to attend to, but she wants the NXT universe to know that she plans to take Fallon Henley's North American Championship. She tells Fallon to stay warm, because if there's any rust once she gets to her, it'll be an easy title victory for Stepanie Vaquer. Gets to 29, I'm assuming because Vaquer doesn't speak English. And the announcing sucks. Language problems in this region. Yeah, that makes sense. We have another match in the NXT Women's Tag Tournament. We have the Meta Girls versus Sol Ruca and Zarya. Decent reaction from the crowd. Subpar wrestling. The Meta Girls defeat Sol Ruca and Zarya in 11 minutes when Jakara Jackson pinned Zarya after Sol Ruca wiped out Zarya by accident. So a miscommunication between those two leads to the Meta Girls getting the win. It gets a 42. I did use a creative finish on this match, and I think it definitely worked out. Jakara Jackson and Zarya were off their game, and Sol Ruca has a hot new move, so we'll definitely have to throw her in some matches. Unfortunately, they won't be the final of this, but a successful creative finish. I'm glad I did that. A 42 is a good match. We go back to the backstage where Uriah Connors is talking to William Regal about the Heritage Cup. I remember last week he told Lexis King that he would get his shot. William Regal tells Uriah that he should earn his shot at the cup in a match next week. So next week we're going to see Uriah Connors in action. Not against Lexis King, but against somebody where Uriah will try and earn his opportunity at the Heritage Cup. That gets a 39. William Regal does great. He's also the road agent in his own segment, which is awesome. High morale for both of them. Very good gimmick for William Regal. 39, awesome. Fallon Henley is staying warm with a match tonight. Not a lot of heat, terrible wrestling. She defeats Danny Palmer in 9 minutes by submission with a rear naked choke after Stevie Turner distracts her. So if you can remember back to like 3 minutes ago, NXT Level Up, Stevie Turner got some advice from Roxanne Perez to deal with Danny Palmer, and it looks like she's doing that. So I made this the storytelling match. Gets a 31, which I'm surprised. Fallon Henley 33, Danny Palmer 21. A 31, I'll definitely take that. Awesome. We go backstage again with Ava and Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels is calming Ava down as Ava wants to find Izzy Dame and cause a scene after last week where Izzy Dame just kept beating her up after their match. Shawn says that he already talked to Vicky and got them a no disqualification match for later in the night, and that he'll be ringside to make sure Izzy Dame doesn't get carried away. So the storyline gains heat. Ava underperforms, but Shawn Michaels was fantastic. The crowd loved it. A 56. We're building Ava's pop, hopefully, with a segment like this, getting Shawn Michaels involved, because last week was rough. But Giulia is feeling frustrated about not getting her title match, which she was supposed to have last week. Obviously, Roxanne changed it a little bit. Lyra Valkyria is, giving her some advice, telling her that to feel better, she already got her a tag team match tonight to take out her frustrations against Roxanne and Cora Jade. And Stepanie Vaquer walks up and tells Giulia that she's ready to kick some ass tonight. I could say 52, which I'm very, very happy with. Giulia, everyone does well off script. Vaquer is only held back by the language barrier, obviously. Which hopefully she learns English eventually. I don't know if we'll have to see if we can do anything about that. 52, awesome. Oh boy. A wild brawl that didn't have much heat and embarrassing wrestling. Ava defeated Izzy Dame in 7 minutes after a distraction by Shawn Michaels. AJ Winkler was the Roadwork agent, the road agent. A 20 for Ava, 16 for Izzy Dame. Our referee gets a poor gimmick. Oh man. 15. Dear God. Yeah, I think we will not have many more matches between these two. Oh boy. Let's see. Stamina. Okay, so they both have terrible stamina. I thought 7 minutes was short, but I guess I gotta make it 4 minutes. I see why Ava was a GM, but I'm still gonna try and make her work. Excuse me. Vicky Guerrero comes out and is furious at Shawn Michaels for interfering in the match. She tells Ava that she has big plans for her and that next week Ava will have a match. Not against Izzy Dame. Against someone maybe more popular. And Shawn Michaels will be banned from ringside. So that gets a 42. The storyline gains heat after that terrible, terrible match. Oh my God. Axiom, Joe Coffey, and Nathan Frazier have a segment where Fraxium are backstage talking about their plans for 2025, their hopes to make it to the main roster after WrestleMania, hopefully get called up in the draft. Joe Coffey overhears this from the other side of the room and scoffs at them, saying that if any tag team or faction deserves to get called up, it's Gallus. Axiom challenges Joe Coffey to a friendly match later to test if either of them are more ready than the other one. It gets a 35, which I'm fine with. Crowd is still very hot, and we have that match right here, and it's amazing. Axiom defeats Joe Coffey in 13.5 minutes by pinfall with a golden ratio. A 56 for Axiom, Joe Coffey with a 49. For Axiom storyline gains heat, 55 segment. Love to see that. Next up, Axiom winning clean, but no celebrations as Gallus rushes to the ring to beat down Axiom. Nathan Frazier tries to get in there and help, but they're overwhelmed in the 2 versus 3 environment. Suddenly Dante Chen runs in and takes out Wolfgang, so that Fraxium are able to get the upper hand and make it a fair fight. Gallus gets out of the ring and runs away as the other 3 stare from the ring. So Dante Chen helping out Fraxium after his interaction with Wolfgang in Level Up. Segment gets a 37, which I'm fine with. Everyone's got high morale, love to see it, except for the awful gimmick and the low morale of Mark Coffey, which we'll have to try and fix his morale. But Tony D'Angelo is backstage giving an interview with Lacey Von Erich. He's giving his thoughts on Charlie Dempsey and the No Quarter Catch crew. He says that he respects the work ethic of Charlie Dempsey, but Charlie has not worked hard enough to overthrow the Don of NXT. Wesley interrupts and says that Charlie is a better leader than Tony could ever dream of being, which is some fighting words for the Don of NXT. Tony tells Wesley that he'll set up a match next week between Wesley and Channing Stacks Lorenzo to see how good of a leader he really is and test Stacks against Wesley. So that match is going to be next week. This gets a 52. The story gains heat. They do well improvising, which I'm very happy to see. So hopefully that low heat gets fixed. And to end the show, we have a good wrestling match with decent reaction from the crowd. Giulia and Stepanie Vaquer defeat Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez in almost 15 minutes, when Giulia again pins Cora Jade with a diving crossbody. That's another storytelling match. 53 for the wrestling, 41 for the crowd, 58 segment. 53 for Vaquer, 62 for Giulia, 54 for Roxanne, 45 for Cora Jade. Storyline gains heat. You love to see it. A great finish to the show, I think. I think that 15 match will drag us down a lot, but a 55 will definitely take that. Axiom was overused, and Joe Coffey was also overused, which I don't know. I wanted to get them both involved, and hopefully they gain some pop, but increased our pop in 15 regions. Obviously, a very low point here. We're going to finish the show there. Let's see. We do gain some money there. And yeah, that's where we gain pop. And yeah, that's all for this episode of TEW 9. If you did enjoy, leave a like. Subscribe to the channel for some more Total Extreme Wrestling content. And I'll see you guys for SmackDown and main event. Oh no, I think next episode is Universe. I forgot about that. So Universe will be the next episode. And yeah, I'll get that out to you guys as soon as I can. I've been slacking a little bit on how often I'm uploading, but I did a lot of the booking ahead of time that I wanted to, and now that I know where I'm heading with everything, I can hopefully start pumping these out more often. I'm very excited. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Comment your feedback, and I'll see you in the next episode.